Hello, my dear children. Welcome back to our class. Hope you are going well. I think you are eagerly waiting for the second unit, aren't you? And here is a small poem written by Christina Rossetti is given as the entry activity. Christina Rossetti was born on December 5th, 1830 in London. She is best known for her ballads. Her poetry is marked with symbolism and intense feeling. Students, listen carefully. I will recite the poem.
White sheep on a blue hill. When the wind stops you, all stand still. When the wind blows you, walk away slow. White sheep, where do you go? Okay, dears, listen here. Have you ever spoken to birds, flowers, and clouds? I think you may have spoken with your pet animals, aren't you? Look at this picture. Here you can see a little girl. She speaks to the clouds moving in the sky. She thinks that the clouds are her friends. She believes that the clouds can hear what she says and they will respond to her questions. Okay, dears, do you know who is the poet talking to? Yes, you are correct. The poet is talking to clouds. Who does the poet address as white sheep? Yes, very good. That's also clouds. Here, the girl or the poet sees the clouds on a blue hill. The poet compares the clouds as sheep and the sky as the blue hill. When the wind stops, what happens to the clouds? Yes, very good. They can't move, they will stand still. But when the wind blows, what happens to the clouds? Yes, very good. The clouds walk away slowly when the wind blows. At last, the child asked the clouds, where do you go? The child asked to the clouds, where do you go? Like this way. Okay, dears, did you enjoy the poem? Okay, now let's go through the story part of this lesson. The story Letter to God, written by Gregorio Lopez Fontes. The main character of the story is a poor farmer, Lencho. The story tells us about an innocent farmer who has absolute faith in God. He believes that God will listen to his prayers. Thinking that God will respond to him, he writes a letter to God. He thinks that God is like a friend to him. Okay, listen here. I'll read the passage. You also read with me. The house, the only one in the whole valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with flowers that always promised a good harvest. Okay, dears, the only one house was there. On that valley, there was only one house. That was Lancho's house. It was on the crest of a low hill. What do you mean by crest? Yes, very good. Crest means the top part of a hill. Here, Lancho's house was on the top of a small hill. When we look from this hill, we can see a beautiful river and a field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers. It gives us the hope of good harvest. Ripe means fully grown and ready to eat. Okay, dears, now let's move to the next part of the story. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour or at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lencho had done nothing else but look at the sky towards the northeast. Now we are really going to get some rain, woman, he said. The woman who was preparing supper replied, Yes, God willing. Okay, dears, listen here. Lencho thinks that the earth needed the only thing that was a good downpour, or at least a shower. What do you mean by downpour? Yes, you are correct. Downpour means a heavy rain. Lenjo wants a heavy rain to get good harvest. For that, on that day throughout the morning, Lencho had done nothing. Instead, he looked at the sky towards the northeast by expecting rain. By seeing the clouds, he said to his wife, Woman, now we are really going to get good rain. At that time, the woman was preparing supper, and she said to him, I am also expect like that. If the God help us, we will get good harvest. Students, please listen to the next part. During the meal, big drops of rain began to fall. Huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. Lancho went out to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. These are not raindrops falling from the sky. They are like new coins. The big drops are tens and the little ones are fives. Okay, students, listen here. While they're having their meal, it started to rain outside with big drops of water. Then he saw the huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. Approach means to come near. For example, when the train approaching the station, the passengers got up from their seats. Huge means very large. Have you seen the big clouds on the sky before going to rain? Yes, correct. Here, Lenjo saw the clouds gathering together like a very large mountain. At that time, the air was very fresh. He felt very happy and he went out to have the feeling of pleasure in the rain. I think you are also like to play with rain, aren't you? Yes, but sometimes your parents aren't allowed to play in the rain, right? Okay, listen here. Now Lenjo is in the rain. He felt that they are not raindrops. They are like new coins. He thinks that the big drops are the coins of tens and the little drops are fives. That means he expects if he get good harvest, he can live happily throughout that year. So he thought that the big drops are the coins of tens and little ones are coins of five. Okay, students, now it's the time for winding up today's class. Don't you forget to read the passage 3 times. We will meet on next class. Thank you.